What's going on, team? Proof here, and welcome to the next recruit report video. And the card I'm showcasing today is Jackknife Janice, which I can't remember exactly which day of the week it fell on, but it was one of the more it was the next card of the day after the stream. So I'm kind of trying to take these in order now that I've passed the VR update. So in release order, I'm going to be going from Janice through whatever we have through and continuing on from there. So her skill says auto on rear guard. At the end of the battle that it boosted a rear guard and that unit circle has a force marker, costs counterblast 1, put that rear guard into your soul and draw a card. So there's some pros and cons to this one, as it is with every card. So on the pro side, it meshes very well with Dead Heat Bull Spike, being able to have something that you can use to counterblast, seeing as that Bull Spike does not use counterblast. It offers you the ability to put a rear guard to the soul, which helps feeds into Bull Spike's Soul Blast ability to be able to draw you a card throughout the course of the game. And it's really nice to be able just to get that additional hand back, now that it seems like Spikes are going to like a more mid-rangey control way that they can play with the way these cards have been designed, being able to retire your opponent's rear guards through like Bull Spike and Thaddeus, being able to draw cards via offensive punter, now Janice here. It seems to have like more of a mid-range feel to it, which I enjoy. So it's nice to be able to see that be incorporated into some of the cards, and it gives me a Machine Gun Gloria feel, which is a card that I have a really soft spot for back in the old days. So this kind of gives me that similar card feel for it, for a lesser rarity. And on the con side of things, it doesn't mesh well with General Save Free, because General Save Free uses the counterblast more readily. General Save Free isn't a once per turn skill, so that we can more likely spam the counterblast for Save Free, which means you're taking away from Janice here. And then something to incorporate, or not incorporate, something to be mindful of is that for Janice's skill to go off, the unit has to exist at the end of the battle, which means that it has implications in premium, because it means you can't mesh it with charge. Unless Bushiroad rules it a different way, this is what I've heard from the judges in my Discord server, and I trust them to give me the proper rulings. So unless Bushiroad decides to rule it a different way, this is how they've told me that it works, is that the unit must exist on the circle that Janice boosted at the end of the battle. So if it's removed from circle via charge, it doesn't work. If it's removed in the middle of the battle phase via like Denial Griffin, Hetero Round Dragon, and Premium, it doesn't work. So it has negative synergy there, which isn't as good, and it does, in my opinion, it hurts the card more than it would help it on the premium side of things. But it's something to keep in mind. So you can't stack up Spike Bouncer's Counterblast 1 skill, put it to the soul and draw, and then use Janice's ability to Counterblast 1 and draw a card, since the Spike Bouncer doesn't exist if you resolve it first. And then if you try to resolve Janice first and put Spike Bouncer into the soul, you can't then use Spike Bouncer skill, because part of the cost for Spike Bouncer is to put itself into the soul to draw a card. So there's some negative synergies going on there, but it is something that you should keep in mind, that way you don't run into an improper ruling. And it's also worth noting that unlike Offensive Punter, which tucks itself back into the deck, Janice puts the booster, or the unit that she boosted, back into the soul, which means that you might run into an issue that you would rather keep the rear guard around for the future, as opposed to drawing a card. So maybe your hand is full of triggers and you need to have more cards that can put more aggression on your opponent, which means you might not be in a position to want to use Janice, even though the drawing a card is nice and the additional soul is nice. So there's some awkward things that can go on with her. And she kind of fights for grade 1 space in the already established really good grade 1s, such as Gary Gannon, Gyro Slinger. Offensive Punter I'll put in there because I think it's a really good card. So she, at the moment, and even with more cards to be revealed, she's already kind of fallen into that tech option spot, which doesn't bode well for her future. So there might be something that comes out later that makes Janice like that #1 target for that particular card. So as Spikes, there's always some hidden synergies that could pop up after all the cards are known. So just keep those things in mind. If you've been testing Janice, let me know what you think about her. Maybe there's something that I missed. And yes, let me know in the comments down below. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Those are my feelings about Janice, and look out for the next one. Until then, peace. Be easy.